part 6. So remember, we changed the goals, and in the ending example we're going to not display cities, we're going to display bounding boxes. So for this next few minutes I'm going to change the icon, make this look a little better. Right now it looks like it works, but we're going to just make things look a little better and rename some things. So in the code itself, if you remember, and one thing we always need to do, not always, but keep the developer console open so that we can look at the console to see any errors that show up. These are warnings. There's a way to get rid of them. Maybe next time I'll look at that. But anyway, so we know that here we want to replace this menu item. How do we even know where that is in the code? If you click to inspect an element, we can just hover over it, and it'll give us an idea kind of in the code. It's not a great tool because it's a little out of context, but you could at least scroll up and down and it'll give you a good idea where in the actual file it is. So, but we do know that from the last time that this chunk of code here, the sidebar menu tools, is what created that menu. So I want to change the font awesome icon from a city to some kind of shapes or something. So I don't want a trash icon. Let's go back. So I just went to the font awesome site again, and here's the shapes I found. Maybe if we wanted to change that up, even make it even different, since we know we're adding a bounding box, we can just maybe add a square. So let me copy that, go back to my code, change. This is the easiest thing that we're going to do. Also, it's not really a cities modal, so I'm going to change it to a bounding box modal. Now this is important because this data target attribute right here, when this gets clicked, it's going to go look for something called bounding box modal. So we have to make sure we come down, because remember, in this, it's in the thing itself. When we clicked on our icon, it showed that modal, right? It changed its visibility from basically having a margin off and hidden to something that was not hidden and displayed. So we're going to go down, and here's our cities modal, and so I'm going to change that to bounding box modal, and this is just a comment. And then the ID is right here, so that should save us and get the stuff that we've already written to work. Also, we need to change this from the icon that we did have again to what we want. I already forgot what it was called, square. So we'll replace that. Paste. Let me save. So what have we edited so far? Just the HTML file, right? There's our square. It's off center. Great, but I'll let it go. So when I click, nothing happens. Let's look at our console. Nothing to help us. So let's go see what happened. We've got bounding box is the ID, but that's not really the ID, is it? It was bbox modal. And so let me go back down, and remember, these are like our variable names, and if it doesn't exist, it can't display it. Alright, click. There we go. There's our square. It looks like a checkbox. That's probably a poor. I can't do that. We got to change the icon. Here, I don't know. That looks more not like a vector square. So go back to our code. Change this. Go up to our menu and change the square. Save. View. Not so bad. And there it is. And just not display cities, it's display bounding boxes. Save last time. Okay, so that'll work. Okay, and I also said we're going to change some styling to this input box. because we want to have a button to search and a button to maybe erase what's already there. And I think if we look over at search, this styling here looks pretty good. So I'm just going to steal that. So this is search tools, right? So in the code itself, in index, if below here we've got the search modal, and so if we wanted to inspect, we click on our inspector, and we can see what's building this, and we can see it's all inside a div. Display inline flex, we don't worry about it. ID target layer, we'll change that, and then it has all this stuff kind of packaged together. So let's go find this in the code, which it's right here. So I'm going to grab this div element, copy it, bring it back up to my bounding box modal, and I'm not going to replace the anything yet, but I'm going to put it in here, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to say, we'll just get rid of that ID. So this says placeholder properties. We're going to search for a state, so we want the placeholder is the word that's in the box before you start typing. In general search, this is really just a state search, right? And then hidden, I'm not sure what this is for. You can have a hidden input type, and it can still hold value and data, but we don't need that one. So we've got our input type, which is a search, which is just a search box, and then this is just like a clickable button. ID is search for a state, and then clear state, I guess, and it's the eraser. Save that, we'll go look. Okay, so this is the old one with the results that I had hard-coded, Texas and Oklahoma, and then here's the new one. Look at the styling. I wish I could do side to side. It is not the same, is it? Why is that? Well, the styling. So let's see here. We have, does this have any class? Class is clickable, class clickable, but that's, so usually you create a class in your style sheet. However, you can also attach style to an ID. And if we remember what we copied, we have search general and clear general. So I'm going to go up, I'm clicking on my style sheet right now, and we have search general and clear general. And what did we call ours? I already have stuff that I've done in here. So we have search state and clear state. What did we name them? Search general and clear general. Well, we don't want those. We wanted search state and clear state. So I'm just going to change those names to, no, I'll do camel case, search state, clear state. So search, what am I doing right now? I named them two different things as I was going through and practicing. So I'm going to go with my old names that are camel case without the dashes. So now when I save it, in my style sheet, I've got some styles that I copied because this search general and clear general was what was used to style the other ones in the search box. So we're going to copy them. We don't want to use the same ones because we might change ours a little bit. So, and I think I did. And if we change ours, we don't want to mess with the other modal. So let's go see if our styling took place. Yeah. So now, okay, we still have our results box and this input box, but we'll get rid of that and change things over to this. Okay. So let's go back to our code. So here is the results, and here's our input. So input type is pick state. ID is pick state. So input type of this, ID is pick state. So I'm going to get rid of this. And then since this is the results, we're going to put that below here. In fact, I'm going to get rid of these two options. We don't need them. Save that. Go look at our output. So it looks ugly, but we'll fix that. So there we go. So it doesn't do anything yet, but we changed the styling. We haven't added any functionality to these, and our output still shows up. And I think I'll stop there, and then next time we'll attach some functions to these and clean this up. Yeah. All right, we'll see you in a minute.